everyone, and welcome to Patriot Crusader Missions Christian Warrior Talk. Happy Monday, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
And the world is burning around us, all around us. And we're here to talk about it. We're here to claw our way out of it. We're here to start coming up with a solution. And that's why we're here, because sitting around powerless does no one any good, except make you more depressed and more angry. And we need way less of that right now. We're at a really dangerous tipping point for a lot of people. So let's see who we got signed on, everyone.
Thank you for my name tag tonight.
Yes. We can't let anyone forget that you are a holy vessel right now.
Holy vessel is getting larger, my friends.
It is. Lauren is no longer the first person to enter a room.
No.
When she walks through
that ship has
door.
Long sailed. Long sailed. Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. I was asking her about that. I go, your belly has been making some progress. Is the baby the first one to enter a room now, or is it still you?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you. Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
Chris, was this a pleasure or work?
Hey, Michelle. Good to see you.
Do you know what Chris was doing traveling?
I do not know what Chris was doing traveling.
Okay. Chris, what were you doing traveling? But don't text and drive.
Yes. Be careful.
Hi,
the
Michelle.
last thing you need in your family is another car accident. They're counting on you.
Not to put anybody on blast. But hi, John.
Hey, John. Good to see you. So glad we got all you guys here. The dark days just keep running. The news out of Afghanistan is depressing. We just made like the third largest military, in the world or something like that, and just handed it all to terrorists. And too late.
That I'm assuming it's accurate. I mean, I haven't vetted the source. I've seen multiple.
Tucker was talking about it.
Yeah, so he probably looked at a similar resource, but the list of stuff that was left behind was just bonkers.
The list of stuff that the Afghans could have used to fight them and didn't.
There's that. There is that. I've seen people. I mean, I don't want to beat up on the Afghans, but I've seen reports that they didn't try to fight for anything, and then I've seen reports that stuff is being exaggerated. That Biden was trying to use that to say, they didn't stand up for themselves, and that they actually did try. Is the truth somewhere in the middle?
No.
Or your experience?
I mean, one, I have never stepped foot in Afghanistan, but
you've spoken.
There is a lot of soft Arab people.
Okay.
There are hardened mountain guys from Afghanistan that are hard as nails, and they're warriors, but the city dwellers are soft as baby poo. And there is a certain amount of lore and terror that comes with their name. It's psychological warfare 101. Yeah. They're sitting there with all the best weapons in the world. They outnumber them 10-1, and they still surrender and get their heads cut off or shot in the back of the head. There's just that, Now, there are some, hey, Claudia, good to see you. There are some guys over there that are awesome, but you know what? Less than 1% of America is that way, and we're soft as baby poo.
Right.
We got people complaining about which bathrooms they can use. I'm so tired of spoiled American society. People who've never served and be like, I just can't even deal with it. Can't even deal with it.
Oh, well, we certainly have a bunch of people who would roll over. The question is, if you've been
already have rolled over.
If you'd been trained for it, would you?
Well, the Afghani forces were outnumbered, actually. And I don't know if they knew how to use the equipment they had, which is crazy.
Do they jumpstart these tanks and Humvees and helicopters, or did we literally leave keys in them? How does that work?
I'm sure everything's right there, ready to go. I mean, did you see the footage of two Blackhawks flying around with two people with people hanging from them? They were hung from the Blackhawks and they're flying around their bodies.
That is.
Yeah. And I'm sure they were interpreters that worked for us or, whoever,
Awful. Absolutely awful.
So you got about 2 more minutes of pity party and then we're turning the page. So if you got some pity party words that you want to put out and vent, go ahead and vent, vent
Let
vent
us
off
know.
that gas now. Give you 5 minutes.
And
then the
do you wanna
pity
put the
party's
number
over.
in if anyone wants to call in tonight? Have at it. We'd love to hear from you guys. Jason's putting the number 423-930-9306. Should be easy enough for you guys.
And I just, I had a family member today do a relatively, well-intentioned post, where she posted that she watched like this 9/11 special on why we were over there. Given she's watched the first half of it,
right?
And this is somebody who voted for Biden. And I said, yeah, 9/11. I remember that day very well. That's the day that Democrats stopped hating America and treating her like an ATM for 6 months, a whopping 6 months. They were patriotic for 6 months. That's the best they could do. And then they went back to being the bane of our existence, the ultimate dregs who just 100% take, and corrupt. There is nothing that they don't taint that they touch. I mean, it's disgusting.
What was the point of this documentary? To try to disperse the blame from Biden, or was this
this documentary just on 9/11? Yeah.
So, okay.
I don't know much about it, but her thing was, this is why we were there. And then she said it's I can't remember the word, but it's something like, it's a shame on how it ended, or some minor word like that. I'm like, shame or tragic or whatever. That's not even close to enough. Like, this was 100% preventable. Anyways, are we done yet? Are we done?
No one else wants to chime in.
Are we going to quit our whinging? I'm about to quit my whinging. For those of you guys who don't know that word, you're obviously not Game of Thrones fans. And is she up again?
Yeah. Bee's having a hard night. She's saying her hand hurts.
If you got to go take care of that and come back, I got it.
I'll go kiss it and I'll be right back. Put up the picture that I took.
Which one?
The one that I, yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yep.
If you want to change the page to something more hopeful.
Yeah. So, all right, we're turning the page now. No more whining and complaining. I want to show you guys this. And I downloaded that. And here we go. So here we go. So Lauren took this awesome photo of B yesterday. Of B up there hugging, kissing the Jesus cross that we put up there. And she walked up that hill in the hot weather, all with the mission of going to hug and kiss the Jesus cross. I love that girl so much, and she gives me so much hope. And it's proof that if you raise your kids with God at an early age, I just think it's such an unfair advantage. There's nothing that they can't do with him. There's nothing they can't weather, and I just, I feel so hollow not having that, as growing up through all my life. She'll never know emptiness. She'll never know what it's like to wonder, does anyone love me, or, what happens to me if I die? She'll never wonder. She'll always have Jesus right there next to her. And I love her heart. She loves so hard. And I'm just so thankful for her. She's on my days when I am the angriest and the darkest. She comes in and checks on me. Lauren will send her in, and we'll do our little dancing together. And it's a complete shift. It's so good. People say, Jay, you're crazy having kids of your age. I'm crazy. You're crazy for not there. How can you not want to spread light like that? I don't know how you cannot want to spread light like that. So last night I had a group of veterans and first responders in here. Our first veteran, first responder round table here in the garage because it's was nuclear hot here. Not hotter than just about everywhere else. Actually, it was probably more mild than that. But we had some like 4 or 5 days in the 90s. Still gets in the 60s here at night, so that's great. So the mornings are when you want to do anything. It's still nice and crisp and cool. And it went really well. You know, I formed it because the veteran hotlines have been going overdrive, and people are really, really hurting. And a lot of vets are afraid the suicide rates are spiking like crazy right now. And so I wanted to, have an emergency meeting of everybody, the vets and everyone who might interact with them. And nobody here was particularly in crisis, so that was good, right? But so we decided about the next thing is, all of us need a plan moving forward. If you're a vet or you're just a driven alpha person, there's nothing worse than not feeling helpless. And, we all need something to drive on, a star or a goal to reach, to a mountain to climb, or in order to be most effective. I find for myself, anyways. I always devolve to my lowest common denominator if I'm not pursuing something. So we sat around and strategized, on what we need to do, and it's been exactly what I've been talking about here with you guys, that we have been talking about here, which is, you got to fix the men, then you fix the families, then you fix the churches, then you fix the neighborhoods and the communities, then you fix the city, then you fix the state, then you fix the country, and it's in that order. And that's what revival is going to look like. And which means that, as I've been saying for a very long time with all you guys, is we got a lot of work to do. We got to roll up our sleeves and start discipling now. Everyone around us that'll listen, and start and cut away those who won't. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your words. Take your sandals off and shake the dust off of them and move on. So I'm really excited about the community that we're building here at PCM. Again, most people here, I think, are a part of it. But if you haven't joined the PCM Patriot Crusader Mission Facebook group, join it. We're going to start putting out a ton of content. I've been getting caught up on stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I can't really talk about right now. But when I can, I will. But there's going to be a lot of content going out there. And it's progress that we all need to start making wherever we're at. Whether you're still in New Jersey, like John and Claudia, or Chris, who's right down, who's here in the morning working out, or Steve down in Florida. It's all stuff we all need to be working on now. My challenge to you with all the things that are coming, and it's going to be rapid fire. They're trying to get rid of our weapons now here, just as they armed the terrorists. They want to take our weapons and outlaw our ammunition.
Don't you love that irony?
And my friends, my brothers, my sisters, the line between now and revolution is when they come for our guns. Because look what's happened in Australia. Mm-hmm. They have no way to push back. They are being steamrolled. Look at New Zealand, steamrolled. They've got the police mocking them because the police have weapons and they don't.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad. Some of the stuff they've been tweeting. We're going to play hide and seek, and if we find you, you're going to pay, was the tweet.
And we've said this before. It's like, if you think that the police are going to draw a line for themselves and not cross it, I don't think so.
No, they're going to follow orders every time. Because you know why? They can't afford to become criminals. They're cops. They're going to have the best deal out of all of this. So, some positive news. Oh, wait, here we go. Watching trains go by. Say goodbye to your guns if the no-fly thing takes. A lawyer pointed out that if they push the no-fly list for non-vax people, remember, people on no-fly lists can't get permits. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, that may be true. I have no idea, but no-fly list for terrorism reasons. I don't think it's a vaccination thing. Um, so Lauren's dealing with baby B refusing to go down. So sorry, guys. But maybe that's true. Watching trains go by, and maybe that's the way they backdoored and create some red things, which is why you should live in a red state where permits you don't need one. Tennessee, Maine, and countless a lot of other states, just by living you get a permit. So it doesn't really matter there. It matters maybe in Massachusetts, New York, and in the blue states. But if you've been smart and you've moved, it's about to pay dividends. For all you people, again, and you hear me say this over and over again, get here before it's too late. We are going to experience major turmoil when the federal government starts pushing down on these states, on the red states. And hey, strength and honor, Reno. Good to see you. And if the other states break away, if the red states break away, they're not going to let anyone come across the border for a long time, guys. If you got family, they will, but they're not going to just accept anyone coming across the border. It's a security risk. That's why if you wait for that, and again, this might be 2 years down the road, it might be 5 years down the road, it might be whatever. But I'm telling you right now, waiting for that to happen is a major mistake. There's nothing worth jeopardizing your freedom for in a blue state. Mm-hmm. Everything's stacked against you in a blue state. The public won't back you. The governor won't back you. The attorney general won't back you. The mayors won't back you. You are the enemy. And guys, how many of our citizens are still in isolation, in prison right now, who are there on the 6th? Mm-hmm. And no one cares. It's a minor protest, but no one cares.
Are there even still protests?
No one cares. And that's what happens when you play on their field by their rules. Odin, you got to move. Watch out. Come on. I'm going to hit some part of you that you're not going to like. And next thing you know, you're going to be grumbling under there. All right. Sorry. My dog, we figured out that the easiest way to keep Odin out of trouble was to keep him immediately at your feet. Right here. So
we would come in from shows and he would have cleaned off the table.
Yeah.
He would have found
if you could dust for dog paw prints, he would probably find them on all the counters, like a cat, all 4 feet on the counters. This dog can climb walls in the ceiling. House is on the market. Please say a prayer for us for a quick and smooth sale, as we need to make our move to Tennessee. Reno, there's nothing more that makes me happier to hear that.
When did it go on the market? Is it like a today thing? Couple days? What's the agent thinking? Houses are selling so darn quick.
I know I know that John Ferrace and Claudia are coming down to look at more houses this weekend. Yay. So don't let perfect screw up good.
Yep.
A good house in Tennessee is better than a perfect house in Philly. Sorry.
It does
or
not
Jersey.
Have to be your forever home. I know that's the desirable way to do it. We don't want to have to move again either.
We don't. Do you think we're in our last place? This house? Absolutely not. We're gonna build another one, or I mean, this whole thing might just turn into one compound, and we have to buy a house down the street. I have no idea. 10 days on the market and a lot of interest. Awesome, Rita. I'm sure it's gonna go well, but we'll definitely say a prayer for you. Come on, Jason. I'm just telling you, Claudia, if you want a husband if you want a relationship where your husband is in Tennessee and you're in Jersey, keep it up.
Jeez.
John's ready to snap, man. He's in hell up there.
I'm sure she would come with him.
She will eventually. I'm pulling for you, John. I'm trying to help you, brother. I know that I got Diana on our side as well. Lauren's getting ready to yell at B again here. Like, not yell, but so it's 2-1 there, Claudia. John says he's out. I'm ready to build an in-law suite in the basement for you, John. But I'm gonna work you if you're here, man. I'm gonna work you. So, anyways, guys, I was the meeting last night, some things we're going to do. And, I do everything deliberately. So the one way that you can help form coalitions in your community, if you can't come down here, let's say, you're stuck wherever you are. What's one thing that you can count on where you're going to find, a higher percentage of people who are like you that agree with you? If you find the Christian conservative churches, you will find. There's Diana. Yep.
Hi,
See,
Diana.
she's ready to go. Come on down to Rocky Top. Where's Rocky? Is it Rocky Top is it Rocky Top over by Knoxville? Just north of Knoxville, Chris?
I don't know.
Don't go all the way over there, man. That's too far.
I think that Chris would be telling people to go over somewhere that's not here.
Yeah, what's going on with that, man? So anyways, churches. So my strategy here is I'm putting on a church active shooter class for security teams. That's to raise funds for PCM and for building our thing and the wrap that goes on the 1st.
Is that scheduled?
Scheduled.
Is it priced?
It's priced.
You haven't. I've noticed that was
not discussed.
Not sent to me.
Not discussed. It's done.
Okay.
It's already paid for. It went on the PCM card. So
those
as we fundraise,
credit cards.
the PCM card is now carrying a balance. Just saying. We're gonna do fine. Mm-hmm. Trust in God.
Come through on our training, people. We need you to raise funds for this wrap.
Yeah. So how is Hillham? I do not know Hillham, Reno.
Chris Abla. How is Hillham?
So Reno, Chris was our realtor. He's John's realtor now. He's in here as we're speaking.
So Rocky Top is Tennessee in general.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought there was a town called Rocky Top that was renamed Rocky Top or something just north of Knoxville. Anyways, churches. So if you find Christian, like if you can find Jesus in common and like your Bible believing churches, right? Like marriages between a man and a woman, right? There's only 2 genders, right? Freedom is a good thing. Let's just start there, right? Mm-hmm. If you just start there, the basics, you can rally together some pretty serious numbers. So, we are trying to build alliances right now, and then we're looking for the lowest hanging fruit. So, Tennessee Stands is the conservative movement here, one of the conservative movements here in Tennessee, and Johnson City Freedom is a branch of that. Mm-hmm. And I've spoken to Danielle, who does a great job just putting out information. Yes. But the problem is they're scattered. They're all over the place. They're trying to fight everything at once, and you can't. And what we want to do is pick the lowest hanging fruit and start racking up victories. So picking the chair of the school board who was slamming the mallet down and telling the parents that it's a one-way conversation. They're there just to observe. There's no dialogue back and forth. And getting 30, 40, 50, 60 people that will rotate around the clock in front of her house with bullhorns and say, you don't want to talk to us in your meeting? Fine, we'll be right here, until her neighbors hate her so much that she will be sent packing. That's what you need to do.
I mean, so in saying kind of she's scattered, the group scattered, and that there's a lot of different issues to want to tackle or that should be tackled right now. Can it be a divide and conquer approach?
It can. She can pick another one, but she can't pick 10 other ones. And she's not. I mean, she's a very rational, great person. I hope to have her on here more.
Yeah.
Look into One Room Schoolhouse. David Barton, he vets churches on a regular basis to see what kind of things they're teaching and how progressive they are. Awesome. I will check that out, brother. That's a great resource. So, the other thing so basically what I'm doing, right, is I put on something that churches will want to attend and want to need, which is the church active shooter. And then basically if they do that, they're going to be spending between 8 and 16 hours with me. So I'm going to get a good feel for them. They're going to get a good feel for me, and I'm going to build credibility with them. 18 to 16 hours worth of credibility where they see, one, I'm rational, I'm a deep thinker, even though I talk like I'm from the street and I don't talk very educated. That doesn't mean that I'm not a deep thinker. It means I'm more relatable. And two, they'll see that I'm credible, that when I say I know something, it's obvious that I know it and I have a very deep understanding of it, which, starts to give me some capital in their eyes. And then once I prove that I have character, that I'm credible, and and that I'm in control, and that I'm and I'm a thoughtful thinker, they will be willing to entertain making alliances, to say, hey, listen, they're getting ready to do transgender day at such and such library, whatever, and we're going to be down there and making sure that does not happen.
Yeah, I mean, so I know that's, we're wanting to influence families and then churches and then communities. So by doing this thoughtful process as far as kind of influencing churches to kind of come on board,
right,
you're the next step down the road.
So then what happens, right? You get a bunch of guys there, they go back, they're fired up about the training, and they start talking about it. So now other people start coming to our training, and everyone who comes to our training is a potential ally that we invite to the groups.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we have 200, 300, 400 people that we can rely on.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
And now, we can form our own fellowship, not the M word, never say the M word, our own fellowship of Christian warriors, and be able to have an impact when something bad happens.
Yeah.
Right? When something bad happens, we could wake up tomorrow, everyone. We could wake up tomorrow and Johnson City could be a war zone because a white cop shot a black guy.
Yeah.
And that can happen anywhere. And trust me, Tennessee is in the crosshairs. The government hates Tennessee right now for us pushing back as hard as we're pushing back.
A different version of it in Charlottesville with the whole August 12th thing that happened, 4 or 5 years ago now?
It went from one
with the whole KKK rally.
Yeah. You know how that started? One Christian conservative wacko was on the downtown mall with his friends, and they were surrounded and shouted down by fat, lesbian, green, blue-haired people and from the UVA, and the restaurant made him leave.
Yeah.
Made him leave instead of calling the police to get these people who have it. And then the aggressors were allowed to do whatever they wanted, and he had to leave. So obviously the human spirit hates injustice. And then unfortunately, some decent people latched onto that.
Revolving around the statue stuff.
Right. And then the worst of the worst started piling on. And they bust them in from all over everyone. There were buses on the highway. There were buses lining the road of them busing in Antifa for this.
Yeah.
Who paid for that? Who paid for that for these people who live in their mom's basement with their purple hair and their goth outfits and all that? Who the frick paid for that? They're losers. They have no jobs.
Yeah, it was a crazy time, though, because Jason was working security for a fitness club. that was down in this area, and kind of just how all these businesses were having to prep for this known.
It gets worse than that. One of my best friends was where that vehicle attack happened right in front of his jewelry store. So I had to go get him after they canceled the rally, and we got out of there. And shortly after, that's when the vehicle attack happened, and things got really crazy. And now that was ground zero.
Yeah.
You know, you can see his store in the background, Race Jewelers, right there. That's where all the wreaths and everything else was put in there. The memorial stuff was put in. So that could happen anywhere, guys. And we have to be ready for that, because we're not going to let our town get looted. We're not going to let our citizens be terrorized here.
So what would you
Absolutely
say?
not.
I mean, if something like that happened, I mean, those are kind of forces that are a lot larger than.
They're not larger.
Well-intentioned. I mean,
they're
depending
not
on what stage we're at.
Right. If at a full stage, I mean, we did riot training all the time in Boston PD.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can train up a bunch of people. There's Paul. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Everyone, I want to welcome Paul Race to the show. He's literally one of my best friends in the whole world. If I had a body to bury, he would be the first one I would call. And he would be like, he wouldn't ask a single question. He'd just get in the car with a shovel and say, drive. He's a good man.
And say, you're buying the beer after.
Yeah. But we could get a bunch of well-trained people here, very well disciplined, and we would be a force for good. It wouldn't be there to go thumping. It wouldn't be there to go do whatever.
So would you say, like, kind of drawing a no further line to protect businesses and things like that?
Yeah, we would form that. We would form a line down there. We'd have command and control. We would have comms, we would have everything, and we would be up there with our shields.
Would you say that's kind of like what some of those people were attempting to do in Kenosha?
That's what the Proud Boys do all the time. And the Proud Boys do a very good job, and they've got a really bad name. Mm-hmm. And and it's total BS.
Right.
They do have some self-inflicted wounds, but I'm a huge fan of the Proud Boys.
Such at least racist group. Right?
Yeah, with their black leader. So stupid. Their charter's a little lame, like chauvinist, whatever. I don't know.
I've never read it.
Yeah, but they have some skin in the game, guys. They're doing stuff when the rest of us just sit on our ass. Excuse my language.
They certainly show up.
I blame hockey. In hockey, you get a penalty for retaliation, and the instigator skates away. Doesn't the word give a clue? So I actually like hockey. Hockey's one of the, and again, I don't watch any sports anymore. Hockey, you can skate across the ice, smear a guy into the boards, break your stick over his back, beat him up, and there's no fine, there's no nothing. You just sit in the penalty box for a certain amount of time. I mean, that's justice. If someone talks smack, you punch him in the face. There's no suspension. There's no nothing. There's consequences. That hockey, and it's not the hockey of today, unfortunately, the hockey of the 80s, even some of the 90s, even maybe up into the early 2000s, was America back in the 50s, where if you run your mouth, you get punched in the mouth. So people didn't run their mouth all the time like they do on social media now. There were consequences.
It would certainly be a different word if, like, your computer reached out and smacked you every time you did the keyboard warrior thing, huh?
Yeah, that's an app I want to invent where you go in the chat rooms. You strap him, and you to go in there to argue. And if you start doing whatever, you get.
Yeah, your keyboard. There should be a program that if you type certain words,
oh, that would be fun.
The keyboard shocks you.
So, anyways. That's the vision for this, is to create a bunch of Christian warriors who are mentoring the people around them, who are going to defend their communities. And it's not the sexy stuff. It's not, will we train firearms? Of course we'll train firearms, because you have to, and everyone should be able to defend themselves. And as the threat evolves, we'll do what we have to do. But the main thing is being able to go down and be bodies in places to protect our community. And most of the times it's going to be showing up with a sign and a bullhorn on someone's front lawn when it's time for them to go. Mm. The other thing that I think we should do is, there's nothing that Democrats hate more than the sound of gunfire. Freedom thunder, we call it here. And I
Let
think
it
we should. I
rain.
think that if we get Democrats on our street, I think you coordinate with the other gun owners and you make sure that there is fire raining 7 days a week until they go.
Well, they will have a taste of it come October
Yeah.
9th.
Yep. October 9th, it's going to be raining some serious fire down here on this property.
Our dogs are going to be thrilled.
Yeah, you might want to go to the vet and get some downers. Put them in the basement and just let them chill.
Yeah, basement might need to be where they go.
Yeah, and down there and let them chill.
Poor Valkyrie.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's the type of things that we have to be doing now is forming alliances with churches and, keeping everything Christ focused and not taking an inch and actually reclaiming. We need to reclaim the ground lost by these, complacent people who don't realize what they're losing. A lot of the Tennessee natives here, they have no idea what's coming for them. Like they're in culture shock right now and they have no idea how bad it can get.
Yeah, they just want to be kind of like this neutral, like life's good area.
Yeah, they just want to be left alone because they've always been left alone. And it's like, no, you don't understand that those days are gone and you have to fight for it now.
Yeah.
You can't just be you because the Democrats won't let them be you.
Hey, Brandy.
Give that Democrat talking about Valkyrie some horse tranquilizers.
That's our dog.
I know. I know. That's why he said horse tranquilizers.
Big Mastiff.
Yeah. She should use them and sleep it off because it's gonna be thunderous.
Yes. Yeah, poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of dog, a little bravery.
She is loyal as the day is long and she's loving, but not very brave. In fact, none of our dogs are very brave.
No, they're very, very brave. Don't try to break in.
Well, right? Isn't it the scared dogs that bite?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll ravage you if you break in. It is time to pick a side. And you know what? Jesus said he was going to divide, children from parents. He's bringing a sword. And it's time now. We have fallen away from family members that we disagree with. I have nothing in common with them anymore. Can't talk to them about anything.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
My family conversations are certainly like tiptoe, surface. You get off of it and you're like, that was the most unsatisfying
phone call ever.
How's
the weather? She did run a bear off, Paul. Thank you very much. Valkyrie did chase off a giant black bear that had flipped our trash over.
And then
she got scared by the trash can.
She did a great job.
Well, watching trains go by, that's not what we're about, dude. We're about action here. We're in the beginning of seeding that action, but sitting around and just crying in each other's beer and telling people to calm down and all that, no. So we're actually having a big training weekend here in Tennessee.
Where are you from? Have we established that yet?
No, but let me see if I can find the flyer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people being pushed to accept the new normal and the fact that it's called the new normal, which, people want things to be normal. And so we should not be encouraged in the slightest to accept it or use the word normal for what's going on. But I've heard that, so many times in relation to what's gone on in the last couple of years, politically, pandemically, all of that. Oh, yeah. It's the new normal. Just get used to it. Canada. Okay. Oof.
God help you, brother. You are lost. My mother lives in Nova Scotia.
Is the border open yet?
No.
Neither direction?
I think Americans can come on that side, but they can't come over here.
Watching trains go by.
Man, all I got is...
Yeah, his mom's been stuck in Nova Scotia and was holding out month by month that she would be able to come visit, and I think has totally given up on that.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever going to come.
You're trying to find the
Yeah, I'm trying to find the upcoming
or
events.
The pictures?
Just the picture.
Well, there's the PDF of it. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, here we go. And you can take a picture of it with your screen. So hold on. Lauren got all high tech with these QR codes. And
I'm hoping that people can figure it out.
Yeah. Stop sharing.
There was too much information to put on.
Yeah.
Trying to put it all on one flyer. So I QR coded it up. I'd never done that before.
Boom. So here is our training schedule coming up. We will do a repeat of this, but as you can see, we have women's. What are you doing?
I just unshared his comment.
Okay. So we have women's self-defense on 9/11, and that'll be a great time. That's 4 hours. That's all classroom. All right. Level 2 is all the physical stuff. Public active shooter training. That's 4 hours. That's all classroom for the first 4 hours, and anyone can come into that. The same day, the second 4 hours of that day, so a total of 8 hours of training for church security active assailant training. That is 8 hours of training with an hour break for lunch. So it'll be 9-hour day. That is going to be all the classroom. And then the church security active assailant training the following Saturday will be all the physical stuff. And then the big event that we're so, proud and fired up about is the Patriot Crusader forging. That's everything that you need to be to become a Shield brother or a Shield sister. It's Friday night of fellowship to start with a little, going over, what we're going to do over the weekend. So 7:00 up around the fire on the top of the mountain, we'll have fellowship. Then we'll get up, hard charge it. We're going to do 10 to 12-hour days of training on Saturday. And then we're going to have dinner here, catered, or we'll have food here. And then we'll have a fire that night. And then Sunday, I'll do a service here in the morning. Yes, there will, Brandy. There'll be a service in the morning, and then it'll be another, 6 to 7 hours of spiritual training on how to disciple your family, how to turn your house into a fortress of light, all those other things, roles of the marriage, how to be a strong, how to step in your identity as a Christian warrior, all those things. So if you just go up to your phone up to the top of that left screen, that little QR code, and take a picture of it, it'll take you to the registration page. This is our first one. We're really excited about it. I can't wait to see who comes. I just know we're just going to have the tightest group of brothers. Right now, we've capped it at 20 people. If we get more people than that, I'll have to bring some other people on. But, I figure if we hit 20, I'll be really happy with that.
Yeah, that'd be a great group.
And that'll be 20 people that'll go from zero to hero. The biggest
thing, I don't know, if you said this, is if you book before September 15th, you're getting a massive, massive discount.
50% off. 50% off by then.
We price it out at $500 in order for us to actually make money on this for the nonprofit, for the fundraiser aspect of this. It's going to be an expensive weekend for us just to put on.
I mean, just the tent and the porta potty is going to be
$1,000. We were trying to figure out kind of what's reasonable. So we're charging $500, but if you book before September 15th, so you still have a couple of weeks on that, then you're getting it for $250. So
and the reason why that is that means if we fill up that 20, then I can bring on more instructor cadre and increase my numbers. Whereas if it's after that, it's going to be hard for me to fill that. So that's the thought process behind that. So again, we're not making a penny out of this. Mm-hmm. This is all going to the architects, to the wrap on the new truck, which you guys, when you see it, it's sick. Well, let me show you. Hold on.
Which the reason why we're using PCM to fund the wrap for PCM. So we're hoping, praying that having that advertisement on the truck as it goes all around town and all around Tennessee will attract more people to get more people to know us, so that then the fundraising can continue. Because this vision that God's put on Jason's heart, especially, is not a cheap one.
No, it's gonna cost. several $1 million to build the facility we want to build here. A CrossFit gym, an MMA gym, a grappling studio, a massive sanctuary, and then log cabins all scattered throughout the hillside for people to stay in, as well as a giant cross-shaped pool with a lap pool in the middle, and then a cold and a hot and a cold baptism, koozies on the left and right side.
Which side are you going to baptize in?
Either one of those. So the guys will go in the cold water because they're hard as nails, and the girls will go in the soft water. And
I would be offended by that, but I'll take the hot water. I'm not gonna complain.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, like I said, Wimblow McCoy. I'm still downloading the pictures. I'm about to drop them on you. It's evolved a little bit. Wait to see how awesome
so
this is.
This is the formal one. I haven't even seen it. That's been submitted.
Yes, this is the formal one. That's
Monday. On Monday, right? You said
the 1st. So that's Wednesday.
Oh, on the 1st. Oh, okay.
So the 1st goes in. I think we get it the next day.
Okay.
So we're going to be. I'm going to get 1,000 flyers printed off, and I'm going to drive to every church here and sit down with their pastor and be like, "Boom, you need to come.
All right.
You need to come." So here we go.
Here, wait, hold on. So I'm going to unshare this. All right, the big reveal. Are you going to be okay without your truck for a whole 24 hours?
It'll be tough. All right, so get rid of this and get rid of this. Get rid of this, and here we go. Lauren, keep going.
I think it'll be it. I mean, it's hardcore.
It's very hardcore.
It's not subtle.
It's not meant to be subtle.
I know.
Everyone else is subtle. We're not going to be subtle. So here we go, guys. Here's the truck. Boom. Look at that bad Mamba Jamba. Look at that Crusader. Yes.
Fresh
from the fight. Fresh from the fight right there. Boom. Patriot Crusader. That's awesomeness. That is awesome, but it even gets better. What? There's the back. Booyah. Look at that. That is so sweet.
Is that the same one that's on the sides? Or is that
it's the same one on the side. You can just see more of them because you get to see a little bit of his sword here.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, one of the versions that
Dave got a little carried away.
He blood splashed the whole flipping truck.
Yeah. I'm like, we can't have that.
Too
much. But this is straight from the battle. That is what we do. We do not go blindly into the night. Exactly. Right. Everyone who sees that truck is going to be like, what in the heck is that?
My only hope is that there is enough, like that people, the .org on there is the only way people know it. I guess they'll just Google.
Trust me, when they see that, they're going to Google that. Yeah. That was the only way this worked, unlike the really wordy one that I did. So
you could start a leasing company from that graphic and wipe out the competition. People would love to be cruising in that.
Yeah, man, it would be sick. But
that's why John Ferrace was trying to get hired as the chauffeur so that he could be the one driving.
And then we have, you can't see it, but we have a giant version of that shield on the hood. It takes up almost the whole hood. It's awesome.
All right.
So it's going to be sick. Gonna be
and
sick.
Is this a full wrap, half wrap? What is the status of wrapping?
It's a half wrap from there in the back. This is decal, wrap.
Oh, they can start the wrap like partway in the back.
Yeah, they're gonna. So they're gonna start like I think here or maybe here back.
Okay,
and then this is just decal and the hood is decal, and that's that. So.
All righty.
I want to thank David Vaught for coming up with that.
Yeah.
He was looking at
it. Looks a lot better than.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no information on there.
Canva. Yeah.
So if we had just driven around and there wasn't a badass bloody Crusader on the back, no one would know or care what to do. Yeah. But because there's an awesome dude on the side.
And he also, because we were working around the Ram on the back. not planning on covering that up, and he's just slapping that thing right over that. I'll even wear the helmet when driving.
Oh, pass it.
I'm not sure that it's road safety approved.
Oh, yeah.
Field of vision is not the bestest.
Yeah. Yep. That's the helmet right there. We can't wait to get our set back up. I'm going to retire this this green screen behind me so we can get our real set back up. We just got a lot of work to get that. We got to sand it and paint it.
Well, we get to see it finish this weekend. Yes. If you get it back on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, you should be able to take a cruise in it.
Oh, man. Get the debut.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
So I know that you said that you weren't going to put this on until for Claudia until they bought a house. Is that correct?
Yes.
But what would be funny is if John was sitting in the front seat with you as the passenger in this, wearing it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And so, just, can you imagine the
cruising around town with it? Oh man, that'd be funny.
John, you in?
I think he's
as the passenger, you can wear that and just get a lot of stares.
You know what's better is let's have the pregnant wife drive. We'll go out, have some, some fun on the town, and drive around with I'll be the passenger with the helmet
on. Okay. So pregnant wife.
Pregnant
DD.
wife. Yeah, DD.
Okay. Every guy when his wife gets pregnant is like, yes, DD.
Yes. I mean, there's got to be some benefit from all the hormones and all that stuff that's raging and causing some interesting life patterns.
What life patterns are those?
Just sometimes, there are rumors of women being very emotional and volatile during pregnancy. So, just saying.
Been so lucky.
I am blessed beyond belief that you even gave me the time of day. Never mind married me. Just for the record, she proposed to me, guys. So I just want to put that out there. That's kung fu right there. Just saying. So, anyways, chauffeur John at your service.
Perfect.
No, chauffeur John likes to drink the heavy stuff, so chauffeur John will not be trusted with the keys.
Yeah, that's true. So are they going to get to go to some showings in this truck so that the people selling will be
Tennessee is open carry broadswords. Due to my heritage, I'm going to probably have a Scottish claymore on my back. I'll cut my seat up trying to sit down with that. That's the Braveheart sword, so you don't know the 6-foot long one. Yeah, just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't think you. Never mind.
No, you're probably right.
Oh man. So let's get back to the topic at hand on the things you got to do. So, getting around your Christian conservative churches, and then finding some low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit, what I mean is you're not going to be able to go up there to your churches. William Jason Wallace, thank you, Reno. I appreciate that. Yeah, awesome. You got to find something that you actually can affect, like a bunch of, small churches trying to change the governor. Not going to be successful. You're not going to get momentum off of that. It's going to be a long grind to do something like that. But getting rid of some troublesome, city board members or school board members or whoever, the dog catcher that's a problem, you can make a difference there. And you can make people know that you're watching, and the Democrats won't even try. Mm-hmm. That's the key. You got to, because they're constantly trying to advance. And if we show them that they will not gain a single inch in this town, then they'll just stick in Virginia or they'll try somewhere else, but they won't try here. And our families will be fine, right? Our families will be fine. And that's what we got to start taking care of. We got to take care of our city. All right. Now, I know you guys are all over the place, but I'm just trying to say that I am throwing in everything I have for this city, for Johnson City. The Tri-City areas is going to come, but Johnson City is where we're going. And we know ETSU is going to be our challenge, but we have Christian colleges here that should be natural allies. And we're going to make a difference here. And 6.5. Love the energy 6.5.
What does 6.5 mean?
Man, I'm a couple members of a couple things on Telegram, and my watch is blowing up all the time with these conservative groups. I get
like news headlines and stuff.
Not news headlines, but like chat, because they're all planning stuff and they're all constantly doing what bigger things than what we want to do. Yeah. So smaller is better. Smaller has an effect. Immediate effect on everyone.
Yeah.
And and it's not just going to be political garbage, guys. It's going to be, if there's a widow in the town or a house that burned down, we can show up and make a difference in people's lives. Yeah. And dedication to the individuals. Exactly. We want to show up and we want to make a big difference. And once we get the men trained up, we can start working with at-risk youth here and really changing some futures. And that's really what this is all about. It's going to take a little bit to get there. We're going to train up a cadre. We got to get a bunch of people here that we can vet, trust, have them do some time, because anyone can fake for a little while. And then we go from there.
I think that's such an important way to do it too, because I think
time is everything.
Yeah. So many people will assemble a group of people kind of on.
Oh, look who's already fallen away here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A handful of people.
Yeah.
And, but I think people get so eager to get to the several steps down the road that they will cut corners or not do the due diligence on the front end. And
they'll have a cancer
back to bite them big time. So I think that putting time in on the initial round of people is so important.
Time in and true serum does miracles. Time in and true serum does miracles. People will reveal they are under stress, time, truth serum, all the other stuff. Yeah. You give them enough chance, give them rope to hang themselves, do what Joseph did. He tested his brothers.
Yeah.
And you do that a few times and you'll get a verify who you can trust and who you can't trust. Because, we've got everything involved in this. You roll one clown in here and it could blow everything up. Somebody does something stupid, then we get a bad reputation and so on and so forth.
Yeah, bad reputation is the least of it.
And so super, super excited about everything that's coming our way. Man, they're going crazy. I'm going to definitely turn off the notifications on that. My watch is...
The watch vibrations don't mean anything.
Well, give them an inch and they take a mile, Saboteur.
Yes.
Wimblow McCoy, that is 100% the way of it, man. And they don't stop until they're pushing critical race theory, until your kids hate themselves for being, who they were born, and now they got to be bisexual at a minimum to fit in. Our church is defending the police. LULAC and the NAACP came and gone, but we wouldn't budge. We love our Leos. That's
You're
awesome,
in a good
man.
Church, Brandy.
That's really good. You're also in Texas, which really helps.
Yeah. John. Tough and ugly don't lie.
That's true. That's true. I've been really affirmed about that. Some people have come on as hard chargers. They want to be a part of everything. And the second they don't get their way or whatever, gone like the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that's sad because, again, time will reveal character every time.
Yeah. It doesn't mean they're not good people either.
No,
it's just that they're not the right fit for the bigger mission.
Meaning if I'm going to put my name and my reputation behind someone, they better be who they say they are.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have been fooled by phony seals or stolen valor and all this other garbage out there? And we're going to vet everyone.
Yep. I think one of the best pieces of advice that you got from a business person was, if you were trying to decide to bring someone on the team,
meet their wife,
go out to dinner, go kind of to a more casual setting with the spouse, and see how they treat their servers. See the dynamic of their relationship.
If they married crazy, if the most important decision they made in their life was marrying crazy, don't hire them.
Yeah, and I think kind of to the extent that that of things that are important to us, it would be meeting kids as well. You know, what have they produced? How
Yeah.
have they discipled? You know, because as we said, you know, a lot of adults could put on a good face at a party or whatever it is.
But the kids don't lie.
Yeah.
The kids will show who they are every time.
Yeah.
Right? And that people are like, oh, that's a tough standard. Well, if I'm going to be trusting you with youth or with people who are vulnerable, well, then guess what? You better have your stuff tight.
Well, you don't want to blow your credibility, you know, I mean, because if you're saying we're teaching these things and then the people who you have entrusted to help you in teaching that can't even maintain that standard, you know, who are they to pass that on?
Yep.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, God is moving with us.
Some great people.
Things are going well
All
with Calvary Chapel.
Yeah.
And all those people.
Claudia. You're not out. You guys are in.
You guys are in.
We've seen proof of all of your hard work.
Yeah. I mean, Diana on the other hand.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see about that one. We're gonna have to see about that one. We're still trying to figure that one out. But you and John, you guys are in the compound. When the zombie apocalypse come, you two are in.
You're in.
I was waiting for Diana to sound off. She might have gone. She might have just popped in and then bailed. Oh man, we're about to find out. Yeah, she's got about another minute. Yeah. Checked in and then bailed.
Oh man.
Strike 2.
2.
Strike 2.
What was 1?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
The Hope Report was awesome today. Talking about winning in marriage. Yes, it was. Melissa and Mike, her husband Mike, really put it all out there. If you guys didn't see it, it's a case where both of them were cheating on each other at the same time. They both found out and they repaired their relationship.
Yeah, and they both, I mean, they obviously both had missteps, but they both they mutually owned it and they mutually worked on it. I mean, it had to take both. I mean, even just one-sided affairs, you know, would require both parties being willing, but for them to be working through it at the same time, kind of dealing with each other's, you know, missteps. Yeah, I mean, it's a great testament, and they are going strong at 10 years post that moment in time in their marriage, and they seem happy and healthy and all the better for it. And it's definitely some lessons learned there that they are happy to pass on to anybody. I mean, it's brave to share that and to rehash that every time that they do share it.
Yeah.
You know, so I know that they say that they've learned that they have to big time pray every time that Satan doesn't get a hold of any, you know, recurring of the memories, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be really tough. But I mean, the fact that they've been able to truck on strong and have a great relationship and, you know, and fall back in love. And well, I think that just puts them up here.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it was great.
You give them a lot of credit because you couldn't do that. You couldn't stay in a marriage after an affair, or you couldn't share it in the way they do, as in giving their testimony publicly. Reno. Both are hard.
Both are hard, but one,
are things that our culture and our society, you know, encourage people to do the opposite, cut and run and keep it secret. So they're going against the grain on that, and God's been with them the entire way.
My challenge for people who say they wouldn't forgive or stay in the relationship if someone cheated, make sure you tell that to Jesus when you get to heaven. Yeah, Reno, that's very dangerous, brother. That's making an idol of yourself. Think of how many sins you've done against God, and you're going to ask him to forgive you for everything you've done. But you won't forgive your wife, or you couldn't forgive your wife. That's a dangerous place to be on. So just for reflection, because I care about you, brother. You have sinned against God countless times, and you're going to get up there And it says in the Bible, your measuring stick is what you'll be measured against. So you're asking God to forgive you for everything you've done wrong, but you won't forgive others for everything they've done wrong. You got to be a forgiving machine.
It's a good point, and it's one that's hard to reconcile for a lot of people.
Yeah. I'll say right now, I'll forgive Lauren no matter what she does.
God willing, I never test that.
If she repents and comes back, and I'll forgive her for anything. That's what I'm called to do. There has to be repentance and there has to be an agreement. It's not going to happen again. But that's the deal. How many times are we called to forgive? 7 times 77 or whatever the heck it is. It's an awful lot.
Yes.
And now Lauren's probably burned through that with Lauren a few times with minor things, but
I don't think so.
But so just be careful, guys. It's so easy to lay down those lines, but once you start, forgiveness is freedom. Yes. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Agree. You have a point. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
It's not easy to deal with, and I'm not saying it is.
And that certainly doesn't mean that the situation is going to go more smoothly, that it's not going to be horrifically difficult for both parties, but, more so the person who was wronged. Doesn't mean that, Jason said this before, just because you forgive doesn't mean that things are immediately going to go back to hunky-dory. You've brought up your friend that is going through a situation similar today.
He said he's sorry, and he wants it all to be fine. And the fact that it's not fine because he said he's sorry.
Now he's going to be upset at.
Now he's going to be upset, and I'm just like, what?
Not moving past.
I'm like, listen, dude. I'm like, you got to be as patient as she is forgiving. So if she's forgiving you, you got to be patient. Right? And healing takes time. And you have to show, because time reveals all, you have to show that you're changed, that you're not a womanizer anymore, that you're not going to cheat. And guess what? It takes 100% transparency. Like he was like, she wants to see my phone. I have no privacy. And I'm like, bro, you're married. You got no privacy. If Lauren wants to see my phone, she can take it. She's got all my passwords to every account I have. That's what a marriage is. If you're locking away stuff,
track each other's locations at all time.
It's just kind of I make fun of her because she's always creeping on my Life 360, and she'll see where I'm at. But it's that's what, like, we're one flesh, guys. Yeah. That means what I do, she does. What she does, I do. So there's no privacy. If there's something that I'm discussing with somebody that is, sacred, and it's something in their marriage, I'll be like, don't look at John's because, it's something private between him and myself. And Lauren respects that. But, Facebook, one of the best things you can do, and Lauren and I haven't done it because of the business accounts, and we have so many different business accounts, but we have everything shared. She can log in any of my accounts. I can log into her accounts. She had some weird messaging app on there the other day, though. I immediately called her on it. It was like, I've never even heard of this messaging app. What the heck is this?
And I said, I hadn't really either. Marco Polo. I still don't know what it does. Joel's wife told me to get it. I downloaded it.
So if you guys are like, oh, that's the cheaters app, man.
That? What's that?
Yeah, and I'm like, what's Marco Polo there, babe?
I don't know. Stay in touch with the people who matter to you most. Get started. See, I've never even started it. I just opened it up.
So anyways, we love you too, brother. So again, man, working through when you've done someone wrong, you've got to do the time, man. And the Bible gives you the perfect example of this, and it's Joseph with his brothers. Here are the guys that were going to murder him, and they threw him into a pit, and instead of murdering him, they sold him into slavery, where he went into that, and then he went to prison, and then he became the second most powerful man in all of Egypt.
Yeah.
And they show up on his doorstep, and they don't recognize him, but he recognizes them. Because he's wearing all that, Egyptian makeup stuff, and he talks funny, and he's probably got a killer tan, whatever.
Thank you, Winpool.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, brother. And he's like, I want to see if they'll sell out their younger brothers again. So he's like, leave your youngest, and because they were starving. And he tested them and he tested them and he tested them. He set them up. And then, they behaved with extreme character and sacrificed themselves for their youngest brother. And that's when he had tears streaming down his face. He couldn't take it anymore. And resettled them all into Egypt, where they had, spent centuries crushing it. So anyways, that's the model, guys. Trust but verify.
Yeah, and I
and
think
trust has to be earned.
You've had there's been multiple testimonies now from redeemed marriages that came through an affair. I'm thinking of Jonathan Hickory.
Yep.
The one that you had on that you referenced today on the Hope Report, the gentleman who was the kind of addicted to porn, and he had that whole like side life of that, and his wife finding out, and kind of being willing and understanding to ride the waves of healing that person is going to go through, the grief, the anger, the trauma, all of that they will experience. And you think that things have been put to bed, and then it's going to come up again. And that's just how the mind works. And that the wronged person needs to make sure that they don't allow Satan to use it, but it's natural that those things will kind of ebb and flow, and you have to have patience through that.
Superhuman patience is what you need to pray for, and human healing.
Well, I think, as you said it well on the Hope Report, the patience needs to equal the forgiveness that you're asking for. You're asking for a heck of a lot of forgiveness as someone who did something like that, and so you need to give them a heck of a lot of patience back.
Yep.
And if you plays college,
very cool.
Where's King's College? Is that near here?
Yeah, if she's mentioning that now, she might be really far behind in the show.
Okay.
Because we were talking about hockey about 45 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. So by the time she answers your question now, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We love it when people come on and still sound off, So I think, let's see. Please forgive me and America. Well, what's going on? I mean, I want, I pray for forgiveness for America and for our shortcomings and our Democrats. I try not to hate. It's really hard. And, I just look at them like they're rabid dogs. They're humans that are so corrupted and misled that they don't even know. They don't even know how much darkness is in them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can have your righteous anger about what's going on, but it's that hate the sin, not the sinner saying, which is hard to separate those out a lot of times.
Yeah. I have to believe that I would love a redeemed Nancy Pelosi, a redeemed Joe Biden, a redeemed Barack Obama. Why? Because we'd all be of one mind. We'd all be of one mind. Mm-hmm. That one mind would be all about Jesus and serving him. Yeah. And instead, we're not.
Yeah, I mean, so it's hard to get there on the yes, you can recognize that if they were to repent for everything and become a true brother or sister in Christ, and you would love them as you love everyone watching here. But yeah, it's hard to envision that from
Jesus said to pray for your enemies, and that's what this is a prime example of praying for our enemies. We need to pray for the Democrats that Jesus would find a way into their heart and turn their corrupted heart into a pink, healthy heart.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say a heart of stone, because some of them have weaponized compassion to the point of absolute destructiveness. Good over there?
Yeah, just one of our Bill, who he and his wife were coming local.
Sure.
They were asking if we were free tomorrow.
We are.
So
awesome.
Come back.
When Nancy Pelosi voluntarily locks herself into a prison cell for 20 years, total forgiveness.
Yeah.
Well, she would have to, come forward, confess her sins, and accept the judgment. That's what it would look like, and she would have tears of repentance. And at that point, they have to turn. They have to turn. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Please don't hold your breath. But, true repentance would be very easy to see. You can tell when somebody repents. That's why I love interviewing these people who've been set free by Christ in the Hope Report. They are walking miracles.
Yes.
And they are so full of light. And I can't say that enough to you guys. Like, God's work in people is so earth shattering and so transcendent.
You would never know that was their past if you met them today and
No.
did not know their story. And I think that is one of the most
compelling,
unbelievable things to me. Every single time I hear one, it's like, wow, I'm looking at this person and I would have never known, or I can't picture them living that lifestyle. And it's over and over and over. And that's just the power.
Some of them were prostitutes, drug addict prostitutes, some of them that we've taken were violent beyond belief. They're completely new people.
And so, I mean, so they are the example that we can see, that we are prayerful for these Nancy Pelosi's out there who you have a hard time seeing them in their current state and picturing them in the redeemed one. But every testimony that we get is a different version of that. And on some level or another. So it's doable. God can make it happen. Night, Brandy.
So I think that's a good place to wrap it up for the night. Lauren, you want to pray us out? Remember to pray for whose house was selling?
Reno.
Play for Reno's house to sell, and we'll go forward from there. And everyone battling COVID.
Alrighty. Okay.
And the hurricane and Afghanistan. Go.
Do you want to do like part and then I'll pick it up?
You got it all. Go for it, girl.
You give me a laundry list. If I forget anything, feel free to chime in.
Start with Afghanistan.
Okay. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this time together this evening. As always, we are so grateful for our community who comes and lifts our spirits as much as we hope that we can lift theirs. There are some days that we need it more than others. And every time that we do this show, we are just so reinforced that we're where we need to be and talking to who we need to talk to. So we are so grateful for that. Lord, we do have collective heavy hearts today about what has transpired over the last several days and weeks in Afghanistan, and as indirectly our country as well. And we just pray for the souls that were left there unwillingly and who are absolutely desperate today as they watch their last hope leave the country. And they are now just looking towards you, Lord, for their solution, for their answer. And we just pray that you comfort them and whatever their end may be, whether they meet you soon or they can find a way to stay on earth a little longer, Lord. I just pray that you are with each and every one of them, comforting them in this time of absolute terror. And I pray for everyone here who is just confused about what to do next with such a large and complicated issue, and feeling so small and like we can't, that we have no control over what is happening in our country and in the world, Lord. And I pray that we get some clarity and some peace on our next steps. And if that is what we believe it to be, that it is consolidate in an area like Tennessee, Lord, please help that happen to each person who is seeking that, to Reno, and to all of our other listeners who are trying to leave their current lives and locations behind so that they can join forces with us and with others of like mind. Lord, please make that happen and make that happen quickly. Bless the sales of their homes and the searches for their new home. And I pray that you bring them close to us, because we could certainly benefit from their proximity and from their support. And we just want to pour into them as they pour into us. And lastly, Lord, I pray for everyone who's struggling with their health tonight, and whether it be them personally or someone that they love, Lord, just be with them and comfort them in this time of uncertainty with health, and help them navigate whatever the next steps are in that journey. And I just pray that anyone who can be healed, that you that you give them that healing touch, and that anyone who cannot be healed, that you welcome them home with wide and open arms, and just are grateful for their service to you in the time that they had here. And with that, Lord, I pray a blessing over everybody's week. And
Hurricane Ida.
oh, and see, laundry list. And I pray for everyone who is affected by this hurricane, Lord, and the people who have no homes now, no jobs, no security. I pray for loss of life. I'm not sure. I haven't heard reports of that throughout the day, but I would imagine that there is going to be some and a growing number over the next coming days. So please be with everyone there who is affected by that, and anyone who's in a position to help. Lord, please nudge their hearts if you want them to do so, and so that we can show support for everyone in that path. And with that, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Hey, everyone. I just want to say one last word. You guys matter to us. You matter to us more than you know. You are family. And if someone's out there struggling and it's a dark time, you have our number. Okay. Our number is 423-930-9306. We care about you. You are extended family. We will invest in you if you invest in us. So by all means, if you're having a dark time and you're suffering right now, and I know there's some BCM people on who are not on tonight because they're going through a very challenging time right now. That's all I can say. So we'd love you. And if you need to come stay with us, you need anything, we will open our home to you if you're in trouble. All right. God, we love you. And we thank you guys. So God bless you. And I will see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
God bless.
Hit that outro.
I will.
Good night. Good night.